Okay, the discharge equation for an orifice matter has been discussed, which is CD into A1 into A0 root 2GH by square root A1 square minus A0 square. So how it looks when compared to discharge equation for Venturi matter? Both look similar and both are similar, but whereas in the Venturi matter we use A1, A2, and in the orifice matter we use A1, A2. Whereas in the Venturi matter, A1 is the area of the pipeline or inlet of the Venturi matter, and A2 is area at the Vena contractor. Whereas A2 is the area of throat, not Vena contractor. Vena contractor is applied to orifice matter only. So A1 is the area of inlet of Venturi matter. A2 is the area of throat in Venturi matter. Whereas here A1, AO have different meanings. A1 is the area of the inlet of the pipe, and AO is the area of the orifice. Orifice. What is an orifice? Okay, I put this question several times. In spite of that, you have not been answering. What is AO? area of orifice. What do you mean by orifice? An orifice is the one where it is the area of the hole drilled to a plate and inserted in a pipeline to measure the discharge. So here, luckily we have the same formula. We use the same formula, but the areas are different. When it is A1, A2, in the case of venturimeter, that is area at the inlet of the pipe, and area at the throat in the case of venturimeter. And in the case of orifice meter, AO is the area of orifice and A1 is the inlet pipe diameter. So in this way, the meanings are, the terms have different meanings. And CD is the coefficient of discharge. In which meter do we have coefficient of discharge value very less? Venturimeter or orifice meter? CD value in the case of orifice meter is very less, and it is because of the friction offered by sharp cornered edges of the hole of the orifice, and because of eddy formations, and because of some turbulence at the orifice, we lose some head, and it is the reason for the lower value of coefficient of discharge. See here, in the earlier slide, see one example for example problem of orifice meter. Somebody is asking some question, Salman Raz. Okay, a problem on orifice meter is given. You observe the problem. See, problem reading is an art, I told you many times. See, when you read a problem, you will get some information. Here an orifice meter, with orifice diameter 10 centimeter. You observe this. Orifice diameter 10 centimeter is inserted in a pipe of 20 centimeter diameter. So what is this 20 centimeter diameter pipe is there? And in that, the orifice diameter is given as 10 centimeter. What do you mean by that? In that way, you can understand a problem. So that means a plate is inserted, circular plate of 20 centimeter is inserted in the pipeline, and it has a hole of 10 centimeter drilled centrally, and that is the very first sentence you'll understand. The pressure gauges fitted upstream and downstream of the orifice meter gives readings of some 19.62 and 9.81 Newton per centimeter square respectively. So in the upstream of the orifice, somewhere where the flow diameter, see, you imagine the flow to be in a transparent pipeline where the flow will be visible. There, the flow profile would be observed. So there, where the flow profile in the upstream is full diameter flow, there one pressure gauge is inserted, and in the downstream, again one more pressure gauge is inserted. So that is in the downstream where the lowest cross section of the flow profile forms. So in the transparent pipe, if it is a glass pipe, for example, or some other transparent pipe, for example, then the flow profile would be visible. And at the lowest cross section of the flow profile, one pressure gauge is inserted. There, the pressure gauges give those readings. So coefficient of discharge for RPS meter is 0.6. Find the discharge of water to the pipeline. So here the value of small h is not given directly. It is given in the in terms of the readings of pressure gauges. So therefore, you have to write P1 value 19.6 and P2 value 9.81, something else in Newton per centimeter square. Whenever pressure value is given in Newton per centimeter square, what is to be done? See, you are coming to the classes, just joining, and I don't know whether listening or not, I don't know, but not responding. See, unless you respond and unless you uh, raise some doubts, we cannot understand whether you are getting the points or not. Okay, it is up to you to utilize the time, and we don't want to waste more time. So P1 19.62 Newton per centimeter square is there. It is to be converted into Newton per meter square by multiplying with 10 power 4. And P2 similarly, you do like that. And H value in root 2 GH, H has to be found, which is nothing but differential pressure head. So which is P1 minus P2 by rho g. So that value you can find. So you see the other slide. You see this slide. So in this, the values of orifice diameter and its area, pipe diameter, its area, everything are calculated. And P1 uh, calculated. P1 is written and converted into Newton per meter square. And P1 by rho g. What is the density of water? See, if density of water,
1000.
what is the density of water? Okay, people who have attended, who have entered into the class, they are to be more dynamic. Okay, you just somebody has written. Instead, you speak. It is 1000, not 1000. It is 1000 kg per meter. Okay, your numerical value is correct, but it is to be appended with the connected units. Not only once you raise your voice, then only I can correct it. So it is 1000. Your numerical value is okay, but it is to be appended with the corresponding units kg per meter. And P1 by rho g, G value 9.81, P1 is to be written into in Newton per meter square, that is shown there. And ultimately, you get P1 by rho g value, some meter of water. So head, pressure head. Similarly, P2 by rho g value has also been calculated. So that is some meter of water. And the differential pressure here is calculated to be P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g. That is some value, some meter of water, differential head. So CD is given. So in the equation Q equal to CD into A0 AO root 2GH by square root A1 square minus AO square. The numerical values are all substituted, and you can find the value Q in meter cube per second. See, what I am showing is somewhat a problem with the numerical values that are different from what I want you to substitute. For example, in this problem, I want you to substitute A1, A0 in meter square only, each in meter square only, and H value in meter only, like that. But in the slide, those that is not followed, but you follow, so that the value Q can be calculated directly in meter cube per second. So here, observe the style of the author or textbook writer. It is not recommended every time. Each time you attempt a problem, any problem, you convert the desired parameters into SI system. Okay, here what is the difference between the theoretical what to call theoretical basis of orifice meter and this problem? There is a little difference of between this problem and theoretical reference of orifice meter. What is that problem? What is the difference? The difference is here, while we study theory, what we did in the case of orifice meter, in the upstream of the orifice and in the downstream of orifice meter, we kept a differential U-tube manometer, and in that way we discuss in the theory. Whereas here in the problem, two pressure gauges are kept directly, pressure readings they give. So that is the difference. That is why you are always required to go through problems to have a better deal of better in-depth knowledge of the parameters or the physical things which can be changed in practice. But here in this problem, in practice, what has been different is arranging pressure gauges in the upstream, one in the upstream and one in the downstream. Okay, in that way the problem is different. And see the other problem, another problem. See, in this way we do as many problems as possible. Here I outline the problem. Just here mercury manometer given instead of mercury manometer, differential manometer given, and it gives a reading of some 50 centimeter mercury. So with this, you can find H value direct. H is equal to X into SG by SO. minus 1 or Sm by So minus 1. And what is the fluid there in the pipeline? You observe there is an aisle of specific gravity point. So SO is point SG. The manometric fluid is mercury 13.6. So you can find H value. Always again, you find H value in meter of the fluid flow. So whereas here it is calculated in centimeter, it is not. It is not always. It is not. Correct. It is not recommended. I suggest you all the times you use SI system of units. MLT, mass, kg, L, length, meter, time, second. Like that for different parameters, use SI system of units only. And once H is found, then substitution of this H value in CD into A0, A1 by square root A1 square minus A1 square root to the H. So in that way, in that equation, if you substitute A0, AO values, then you will get Q value in meter cube per second directly, provided if you substitute A1, AO each in meter square and H in meter, G in standard units 9.81 meter per second square. So in that way, a second problem has been given. See, going through problems, reading through the problems. See, in this short period of time, you need not actually solve a problem, and instead go through the problem and observe the difference. If possible, solve. This is over. Then there is one more device called Pitot static tube to measure the discharge in a pipeline. See, a Pitot static tube has been shown in the figure. It is inserted in a pipeline, and this is you see this is a right angle bent tube in the figure. See, a part of it is vertical and a part of it is a horizontal, and in the horizontal section is inserted in the upstream, and the vertical section is open to the atmosphere. And this small tube, which is bent in the uh, right angles, is called Pitot static tube. And this simple device is used for measuring the discharge. Of course, fundamentally the velocity of flow at any point in the pipeline. And the finding velocity is based on the principle that if the velocity of flow at any point becomes zero, the pressure is increased due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure. So see here, there are 2 points taken in the pipe. One away from the bent pipe, Pitot tube, and it is named 1. And at the entry of Pitot tube, and it is named point. So at the entry of when the flow becomes steady. Suppose you assume that there is a flow, there is a fluid in the pipeline, and once the Pitot tube is inserted, see, there will be rise of liquid level in the vertical section by some amount. See, it is named small h, and in the pipeline, the head there at point 1 is capital H, and it is shown in the figure. See here, the liquid rises in the tube because of the conversion of kinetic energy and into pressure or pressure. So there, the velocity is point. Therefore, according to law of conservation of energy, energy is neither created nor destroyed, Here, the energy is not destroyed. The pressure, the kinetic energy at point 2 is not destroyed. It is not killed. It is converted into pressure energy. And that pressure energy or pressure head is shown by a rise of liquid level in the petard tube by an amount small h, which is shown above the pipeline, and because the level of water liquid in the petard tube is raised by some amount small h, and it is shown in the figure. And all this is now what do you mean? What is petard tube? What is the shape of petard? Where is the petard tube in the figure? So you should be fast. Tell me in Telugu uh, if you feel inconvenient in English. Where is the petard tube here? There are one, the physical shape of the petard tube is discussed, and number two, the principle of petard tube. What happens when petard tube is inserted in a pipe having some liquid is discussed. So here, two principles are discussed. One regarding shape of the petard tube and regarding the conversion of energy. So what is petard tube here? Where is the petard tube here? See, our mechanical engineering is with very simple devices we can measure many things. For example, in the earlier problem, with a small pressure gauge insert arranged at one point, the pressure is measured with some needle reading of needle, the pressure gauge. Similarly, here for discharge measuring, here there in other discussions earlier we discussed venturimeter and orifice meter. In the similar way, this petard tube is the one which measures the discharge in the pipe. Primarily, it measures the velocity, and when that velocity is multiplied with the area of cross section of the pipe or flowing the fluid, then it gives the discharge directly. So in that way, using petard tube, first velocity measure. So now I told you the petard tube here is a bent pipe inserted in the pipeline. How is it? How is it bent? A straight pipe is bent by 90 degrees. A straight pipe is bent by 90 degrees. The vertical section is open to the atmosphere, and the horizontal section is centrally located in the pipeline. Centrally located. And now there we have taken 2 points. One point away from the petard tube, away from the horizontal section of the petard tube in the pipeline on the central line of the pipeline, on the central line of pipe tube, and another point near at the entry of the horizontal section of the petard tube. There, what happens when the fluid is flowing with some velocity in the pipeline? Say that means at point 1 you will have velocity, say V1, and at point 2 the velocity V2 is killed, and it tends to 0, and it tends to 0 at the point 2, and their velocity is becoming zero, means the kinetic energy has been reduced to zero, and it is not destroyed, it is converted into potential by rise of liquid level in the pitot tube by small h. Small h, you observe it. And that means there, even though V2 is zero, there P2 by rho g will be small h plus capital H, where P1 by rho g is capital H. P1 by rho g, which is the pressure head at point 1, if it is denoted by capital H as shown in the figure, P2 by rho g is capital H plus small h. So in that way, if you use Bernoulli's equation between point 1 and 2, which are nearby and in a flowing fluid, then we will write P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 equal to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z, where P1, P2s are intensities of pressure at point 1 and point 2, and Z1, Z2, the datum level of point 1, point, and V1, V2, velocities at point 1, point. So in this figure, Z1 equal to Z2, because 1 and 2 are on the same horizontal plane, and V2 is 0, because the velocity at point stopped. The fluid velocity is stopped there at point, and therefore V2 is 0. And the, the conversions have been shown. P1 by rho g, which is pressure head at point 1, is capital H, and it is shown by capital H above point 1, and it is of course within the, it is constrained in the pipeline. P2 by rho g is pressure head above point, and it is small h plus capital H, and in that way the values are substituted in the Bernoulli's equation. When substituted in the Bernoulli's equation, we put V2 0 and P1 by rho g capital H and P2 by rho g capital H plus small h. When we substitute, we will get small h is equal to V1 square by 2g, or V1 square is equal to 2gh, or V1 equal to root 2gh, which is the theoretical velocity of flow. And in that way, the theoretical velocity is found by a pitot tube. Now, what is pitot tube here in the figure? Okay. You see, if you don't respond to simple questions, it is not good. Anytime you have to respond. You are in a more comfortable manner than what we are in. Just listening to the classes by sitting at home. Okay, this question has been asked several times in this class, but nobody has been answering. Okay, the theoretical velocity is given by root 2h v1 theoretical. See, the actual velocity of flow in the pipeline is given by some coefficient of velocity or coefficient of pitot multiplied by root 2h. Therefore, the velocity at any point in the pipeline is given by V equal to CV multiplied by root 2gh, and then discharge is given by Q equal to area of the flow or area of the pipe, CV into root 2gh. In that way, discharge can be found. So for finding velocity, different configurations are used in practice. Since there are several configurations given, there are several flow arrangements. For there are several arrangements of how petard tube is inserted in the pipeline differently and different times. It is given in the first figure. A petard tube is inserted and a piezometer, a vertical piezometer is installed uh, a little bit away from the petard tube, where point one is assumed earlier. In this way, one arrangement, and in second arrangement, a petard tube. See why I asked what do you mean by petard tube is to understand here in the second figure there is a petard tube. You have to identify a right angle bent tube where the horizontal section is inside the flow, vertical section is uh, coming up the pipeline, and it is not open, of course. It is connected to a piezometer. It is connected to a piezometer, and that is one arrangement. So petard tube connected with piezometer. Uh, in second figure, 6.15 there is shown, and one more arrangement is given in the third figure, 6.16. There, petard tube is connected with a differential tube monomer, and in this way, different arrangements are given. So, and a differential YouTube monometer with monometric fluid, different monometric fluids may be used, a differential YouTube monometer. So that is how we you see a small problem in the below the arrangements of petard. A petard static tube is placed in the center of a 300 mm diameter pipe. Has one orifice pointing upstream and other perpendicular to it. The mean velocity in the pipe is 0.8 times of central velocity. So that is what coefficient of velocity. See, why I came back to the problem because to understand the terminology in the problem, the mean velocity in the pipe is 0.8 of central velocity. So that is what the coefficient of velocity CV. Okay. Mean velocity is 0.8 times central velocity. CV is given differently. It is 0.98. So in that way, uh, find the discharge through the pipe. The pressure difference between the two orifices is 60 mm of water. 60 mm of water. The pressure difference is given, which is H, small h, is 60 mm of water, and which is 60 multiplied with 10 power minus. So you find the velocity in root 2 the h, and after that you find uh, the central velocity equation given, which is CV into root 2 the h into 0.8. In that way you can find central velocity. Then after finding central velocity, you can find discharge, which is 5/4 disk to V bar. See this momentum equation. All these are these were studied by you in the earlier classes. The momentum equation. See, in the pipeline where the flow takes place, we are interested to find out the force exerted by the bent pipes on the fluid or the force exerted by the fluid on the bent pipe. So, for that reason, the momentum equation is very much used. And law of conservation of momentum or momentum principle, we know very well. The net force acting on the fluid is equal to the change of momentum in that direction. So in the same direction, net force and the change of momentum will be there. The force acting on the fluid is given by Newton's second law. F is equal to mv. So m is the mass of fluid, a is the area of acceleration. C, a is the acceleration of the fluid acting in the direction of force, where a is dv by dt, and we write F is equal to mass into acceleration, which is mass into dv by dt. And because mass is a constant, we write d by dt of m, and we write total F is equal to d by dt of m. And this is momentum principle, just mathematical arrangement of equation. And we write F into dt d of m, which is also known as impulse momentum equation, which states that impulse of force F acting on the fluid mass in a short interval of time dt is equal to change of momentum, which is d of m in the direction of force. So based on this, see here, this is a small discussion or introduction to momentum equation. But however, while applying to the forces acting, forces exerted by some bend pipes, we will not take all these into count, but we will apply as usual, usually from fundamentals, from very fundamentals. Apply. See here, this is the very important discussion in fluid dynamics. Usually, a problem may be given, or theoretical aspects may be asked in fluid dynamics. This is one of the important discussions. How to find the force exerted by a flowing fluid or pipe bed. See, a bent pipe has been shown, which is making an angle theta with the horizontal direction. That means the pipe is bent by an angle theta from the horizontal direction. It is bent by an angle theta from the horizontal direction. That means the flow is taking a direction change theta from the horizontal direction, while it flows in the pipeline. In that way, you observe. See, two sections have been taken as usual. Fluid mechanics, to apply Bernoulli's equation or any equation, we take two sections. One in the horizontal section, one, and with a thick blue color line, it is shown, and two in the bent section, that is two. The velocity at point one, that is section one, is V1, pressure is P1, and the area of cross section is A1. And here the change in the area of cross section has also been shown to generalize it. For generalization, the change in the area of cross section has been shown. And similarly, P2, V2, A2, the corresponding values at section 2. We then find out the force exerted by the flowing fluid on the bed in x and y directions, respectively, Fx and Fy. If we assume that Fx is the force exerted by the flowing fluid on the bed, and Fy is the force exerted by the flowing fluid on the bed, as shown in the figure. See, there are two forces shown in the figure. Fx along the flow direction, Fy perpendicular to the flow direction, and these are the two forces exerted by the flowing fluid on the bed. And if you want the force exerted by the bend on the flowing fluid, the reverse have to be taken. That means if you want component of force exerted by the bend on the fluid in the x direction, it could be minus Fx, like that. It's all mathematics. Now we apply the momentum equation. The net force acting on the fluid in the direction of x is equal to the rate of change of momentum in the x direction. What is the net force? Which is, see, the force exerted by the pressure is P1 A1 in the positive x direction, and at section 2, P2 A2 is shown acting opposite to section 2 and downwards. And if it is resolved in the horizontal direction, which is P2 A2 cos theta, but acting in the negative x direction, therefore we have to add a negative sign. So P1 A1, it is the component of force because of pressure acting in the positive x direction, minus P2 A2 cos theta. The force exerted by it is the force due to pressure and acting in the negative x direction and resolved in the horizontal direction. And minus Fx is taken. It is to either if you want if you write plus Fx, it means it is the force exerted by the fluid on the bed. If you write minus Fx, it is the force exerted by the bend on the fluid. That is the only difference. And is equal to mass of fluid flowing per second. It is what we are writing is the impulse equation. Mass of fluid flowing per second is density of the fluid multiplied by discharge rho into Q, multiplied by the change in velocity. Change of velocity in the x direction. So change of velocity is leaving velocity minus entering velocity. Leaving velocity is V2, and when it is resolved in the horizontal direction, it is V2 cos theta. So V2 cos theta minus V1. So it is the relative velocity, actually relative velocity. Relative velocity or relative change of velocity in the x direction. Now we write Fx after rearranging the terms. We write Fx is equal to rho Q into V1 minus V2 cos theta plus P1 A1 minus P2 A2 cos theta. All these are to be done by you to know how the discussion or the derivation goes. You have to recheck, verify. Okay, we will discuss later in the next class. Thank you.